Stop it.
Yeah, but it's on record.
Alright, welcome back to the Late Podcast. As always, Jared, Hunter, and Jordan. Let's get this episode rolling.
It's been a long day.
Now, my college class started up and on Monday, and I already got stuff due tomorrow. And then I got stuff due on Halloween. Then I got stuff due 2 days later. For one class.
That'd be nice.
Oh yeah. Ready to do what most college students do. Listen to Free Bird and become a free bird.
And be depressed.
No, I guess amongst college students, the most song that they kill themselves to is Free Bird.
That's dark.
Man. Don't worry, I'm not actually going to do it. Just falls damn work.
Disclaimer advised.
Right.
We are professionals.
We try this weekly.
Yeah, it's been a long day for me too. 10 hours since been up since 4:30 this morning.
Jesus Christ. So you finally switched off from brass?
Yep. Went from brass to fitting trucks together, so
I got my Kool-Aid.
AKA forklifts.
Well, actually, his Kool-Aid today is an Aldi's brand called Kids.
Yes.
We're drinking Kids today.
That's messed up. It'll be a rough podcast. I feel like we haven't done this in a while. Like, we just did it a week ago. But
Yeah. Tuesday episodes, more relaxed.
There's been a lot going on this past week. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been running around like a chicken with its head cut off.
Yeah, right? So, Hunter, what'd you do since the last time we were...
Nearly busted my knee open at Bloodview. Nearly broke my back at Bloodview. Hurt my knee again at Bloodview. Disclaimer, make sure your shoes are tied.
You didn't have tied shoes?
Well, they were tied, but when I went to go jump on the table to chase the kid, my boot came untied. And I was like, oh, I'll be fine. No. I went to jump on the table, and I thought my foot was on, but since it was untied, it was just a little bit, and it kind of went like that, and then my knee kind of just...
These crappy Doc Martens.
No. It was a Doc Martens, but it's not their fault. It's user error. And then my favorite part about that night before I hurt my knee, this kid runs into a porta potty. Well, I slam the door open, jump in with him, and then the door closes. And we're kind of like this close to each other, and he's like, "This is awkward." And I was like, "Well, then get out." And then on Saturday, I had 100 people and counting lick a single lollipop.
That's disgusting.
Everyone, a couple people would be like, well, what about COVID? And I was like, we broke up, it's okay. Or what about Corona? And I was like, never heard of her.
Fair enough.
And they lick at their own risk. They don't have to.
So, Jordan, what'd you do? It's the last time.
Pretty much just work, sleep, same thing over the weekend. Just had a party. Surprise birthday party. That was interesting. I'm surprised I didn't get shot.
Yeah, right.
He comes walking in the house. He's like, "Why the F is Jordan on my block? And why is Hannah parked behind him?" And,
Yep.
and he comes in his room and everybody's like, "Surprise!" He's like, "You're lucky y'all, my guns are in my safe or y'all would get shot." Yeah, it was definitely a great time. I'm like, well, I'm glad this dude ain't 21 packing yet.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be scary.
Yeah.
What about you, Jerry? What have you done since the last time?
Work. And I had a wedding anniversary party for my mom. And then surprise birthday party. Hunter couldn't go to and then injured himself at Bloodview.
Yeah, that was the night I hurt my back.
Yeah.
It's stupid how I injured myself that time. I'm walking back to my set, and I forgot that there's like a little step, like this tall. Completely missed it. My foot taps it. Of course, it's the one with the bad knee. So then I'm like, oh crap. I go down, and then I'm spinning somehow, and then my back hits the chair that I was sitting in, and I'm like, that's gonna hurt. And now it feels like I've got like a pinched muscle back there. So every time I like bend down or like bend up, it's like pinch and it stops. It's like, good thing I'm seeing the doctor November 1st.
Yeah, right? What did I do Sunday? I did something. I don't remember. Did something, I don't remember.
Watch football.
Yeah, but I was supposed to work, but then it was raining all day, so couldn't work. And then yeah, watched football. We carved pumpkins. Nia and I. Not because I wanted to carve the pumpkin. I wanted the seeds because they're good.
Like,
You know,
aren't they
good
like
snack.
sunflower seeds?
Somewhat.
When
You
it
don't,
comes
have,
to snacking.
you don't have to break it and eat the seed. The
Right.
seed's already. You eat the seed.
Right. You just bake them and put salt on them.
Yeah, but you gotta let them dry out
Yeah.
for like 24 to 48 hours, and then you bake them.
It's a long
Put
process.
some salt on them.
I just go in the gas station and just go buy a pack.
Yeah.
It's too much work. Carving the pumpkin and separating the orange guts. I'm like, you know what?
Oh, I want to get
I'm
a,
gonna go spend.
I didn't
$2.
take. It didn't take that long for me to carve the pumpkin and get the seeds out. What took long was when I was like, all right, since I did this, I'm gonna make a good looking pumpkin. So I made Ohio State logo, but I made the O with a Buckeye leaf. Drawing it on there took me like 30 minutes because I wanted it to be perfect, and I had to figure out how to design so that all of the O would actually look like the Ohio State O. So like things would be cut into places so it would be all connected, and then when I'm cutting it, I forgot about some things and I had to put the toothpicks in it, and I was like, oh. And then like so many things broke when I was cutting it because the lines were so thin, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna kill
What
myself.
did you use to cut?
Just a knife.
oh, I was gonna say you used a little store thing that they give you.
Those things suck. If you
Yeah,
if
they
you
do.
if you like go like that, the whole blade breaks off.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Or if you cut like at the wrong angle, the whole pumpkin, you might as well just throw it out.
I like one year I bought like the powered like battery operated one. I mean, it worked good for the first 5 minutes. Then after that, it just went downhill.
If you buy a Dremel and use a Dremel, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to get a pumpkin, take it all out, cut a hole at the bottom, put it on.
You know, when you people think that when you carve a pumpkin, you're supposed to cut the top out, and then you carve the pumpkin. The like proper way to do it so that it all looks good, and like you don't see a seam cut, like on the top, or like it looks like a good carved pumpkin. You cut the bottom out, because when you cut the bottom out, then you can put the candle on it and put the top on, and everything looks good. And
Never knew that.
Yeah.
I always went from the top.
if you go from the bottom,
I think
it's
I think like 90% of the people just go from the top.
Yeah.
yeah, because you're like.
And you got the little handle.
But then
there.
what happens when the top falls in?
I always hate that.
So you cut the bottom out. The bottom's not gonna fall in.
Right.
You minimize that whole process right there. And then you can make the bottom a smooth surface for the candle to sit on, so the candle's not like.
Right. Gotta hold it in there with toothpicks and duct tape. Take your chances. Super glue.
Mhm.
And isn't it good to like put it out for deers afterwards?
So I bought a third pumpkin. I bought one for me, one for Nia, and one for when I go hunting. Not this weekend, but next weekend I'm gonna put out the pumpkin for the deer. Oh, what you do is you take it out there and then you smash it up, and it'll be smashed up in pieces, and then the deer will smell it and they'll come eat it. 'Cause they like pumpkin and they like corn, they like apples. Yeah.
Almost like a horse.
Well, yeah.
I wonder if you can ride a deer.
I mean, you could ride an
Well,
ostrich.
speaking of deer today, so we were like we weren't able to cut grass like regular like cutting grass with the mower. So you know the tall grasses that people have in their yards and
Yeah.
shit. We had to go cut all those because it's part of a fall cleanup. So we were cutting them, and we went to this one house down that way, and you know where the was it Ollie's down there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a street right after that plaza, and we were cutting a house. Well, we were cutting the grass of the house down there, and there was a 10-point buck in the yard next to it, which we also cut that yard, but they didn't have any grasses in it. And he was like standing there and like looking at us, and he'd go down and eat some acorns on the ground, look at us, eat some acorns, look at us. Every time like I would turn around to put the grasses in a pile, he just pick his head up and look at me, and I'm like, oh, hey there, bud. And then
Maybe he doesn't want you to take the grass away.
I was cutting the grasses. We were cutting the second grass, which was further away from that grass, which was closer than the deer, and he's like trying to pull at the leaves to get the leaves down so he can eat the leaves off the tree. And I was like, it was so funny. I almost fell over laughing.
Speaking of bugs, after I was dropping or
I
picking,
wish I had the crossbow on me though. That thing was beautiful. I would have shot that. It was perfect rack. It had like 5 on each side, and like it would have been such a nice kill. And it was a big body too.
Ooh.
yeah, speaking of bugs, I was picking my parents up from the bar one night. You know where Legends is at, right?
Yeah.
So I was at the red light at Forge, waiting to turn, and I seen a buck use a crosswalk.
No way.
when the light was said it's okay to walk, it walked across the street.
They're
It
learning.
used a
They're
crosswalk.
learning.
Hell, the other night I'm coming home from work. I just got off of 77, hopped on Brockside. There was a deer at the red light. I stop. He's looking both ways. I'm like, what? And then light turns green. He's still waiting. And then since the car came from the direction of like Longhorn, light turned red, deer crosses, and then the car goes. It's like, are they? They're really learning. I thought their brain was like that big.
They're learning.
Maybe it went to this big.
They lived in the city this long. They're
Yeah.
learning.
They're learning.
They better start paying taxes.
Yeah, for real. Man.
Share the wealth.
Bro, I wish I saw that. Like, if that buck were to come this way and was in my backyard, he'd be dead. I don't care about the permit. He'd be dead.
I wish I could outrun a buck. I would just jump on its back.
Right.
Bro, I saw one over by the Parma police station, and he was crossing the street very slowly. He looked at me as I'm coming down the road. I saw him, he had like 2 drop tines, like a 14-point, and I just sped up, trying to hit him, and then he walked his way on the other side of the road. I was like, I hate you. Because I just missed him. I was like, oh, I would have hit him, and he would have been dead. He would have just gone in the bed of my truck. I would have dealt with the bumper later.
Pull into the drive. Your dad. What'd you do? Check the bed.
Rudy would have been like, take it to Travis's.
I
Take
can
it
see
to
you trying to like
Travis,
pull it
gut
off
it
the side
out.
of the road. Just
See, I got the knife in my truck, so I could have gutted it on the side of the road, thrown the shit in the woods.
I don't think the city people would appreciate that.
be good for the grass, right?
No.
No.
The coyotes would go and eat it.
Get some of them groundhogs out of my backyard.
And then I'd have to take it to a butcher, go and get it, take it to a taxidermist and get it mounted. And
Oh, the other night I'm coming back from Bloodview, and you guys know the part of Broadview between Broadview Heights.
bro, I'm gonna be honest, I don't
Seven
even know where
Hills.
Bloodview is.
It's right off of 82 after the Turnpike, that bridge.
Okay.
Like you know where that
I know where the turnpike is.
yeah. I was gonna say, you remember that one house you showed me that like
Yes.
$250,000 house all the way out that way.
It's a little more than that. It was like a $2 million house, but
In millions.
you
What?
said $250,000.
That's far away from million.
Hold on, yeah. So over that direction. But anyway,
We all said that at the start of the podcast. Just get over that.
that like apartment building, when you go down that hill and there's that apartment with the big red sign.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going down that hill and there's a buck on the other side, and I was like, if he hits my car, I'm gonna be happy and upset at the same time because I'm gonna be all the way out here. And he kind of just looks at me as I'm going by. It's like, I should have had my gun on me, son of a bitch. It had to be, I think it was like a 14 rack.
Point.
Shit, yeah, 14 point, because it was big. It reminded me of the big one that we had in the backyard a couple of years ago that I wish we would have shot, because that would have like fed an army.
So,
No,
So-
they don't feed that much.
How big this boy was?
so
I shot a really big one 2 years ago, and it was about 75 pounds before getting it done, and then after you get it done, it's like probably only 40 pounds of meat, 45 pounds of meat. It's not as much as you think it is.
no.
45 pounds of meat is a lot of meat for one family, but
Yeah.
it's not that much meat.
You're not getting a bull here.
Right.
Right.
But so tell me why this one kid told me, he's like, oh, if people say it's a 10 point, that doesn't mean it has 10 points. It's determined the size of the deer. I'm like, I heard you say some stupid stuff before, but that was about the stupidest
Right.
thing I ever
So,
heard.
what I know is that we call it a 10 point or a 8 point, but like Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, they call it a 5 point because they count on one side of the rack. Well, now they're hunting elk and shit.
Yeah.
So
Moose.
counting all of that, there's 20 points on one side and 20 on the other. Okay, I'd call it a 20 point, not a 40 point. You know, like they get bigger deers, they get bigger elk and all that stuff, and it's easier for them to count that way. We count the other way because we don't get that big of deer.
Mhm.
I wonder if in Montana they have moose insurance or moose coverage on their insurance.
Why?
It's
'Cause
probably
there's
it's,
moose up there.
it's probably like the same as hitting a deer up here.
Well, them things are as big as elephants.
Oh, I know. I was just about to
That
mention
damn
that. I was
big.
like, you ever see those videos? They're like,
Oh yeah.
they're like about as tall as the house.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, what are they feeding the monsters?
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Hell, I wonder if you could ride one of those, tame it,
Probably can, to be honest.
and then those like
What is it with you trying to ride things?
be a badass picture.
Have you tried to ride a bull before?
No, my
Right.
ancestors had.
Okay, but the saying I'm saying is, see how the bulls react. How do you think an elk's gonna react?
They seem a little more calm. I don't know what colors they hate.
I remember when I was like a kid. We had a German Shepherd. I'd grab his tail and he'd pull me around.
Right.
Because I want to get on his back. He'd pull me around the house, like, dragging me by his tail.
So speaking of riding animals, how many animals do you think it took before horses were like, all right, this is all right?
Probably a lot. They're all probably like, "What are you doing?"
I'm trying to ride a buffalo. Imagine that.
Bet you the Native Americans did. I wouldn't doubt it.
They hunted the buffalo.
Probably like hopped on one to kill it.
And they use like the axes and stuff for the wagons.
Yeah.
But yeah, them things
You
have a
can
lot
ride
of
a
muscle.
turtle because your turtles can ride each other.
Yeah. Those big tortoises, I bet you Leo could fit on one. I saw
sure.
a picture of Leo. He's getting big.
You haven't seen Leo in a while?
No, last time I saw him was like
2 weeks ago?
not longer than
When your
that.
dad was in town?
About a month ago now.
No. We haven't done that many episodes since he's been gone.
His birthday was the 28th,
Alright.
and it's
It's the 26th.
yeah 26th.
Well, alrighty then. Wow. Okay.
feel like a proud parent.
Time is flying. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I was like the other day. I was like, just felt like yesterday. Me and Jared and Matt were just shopping at the mall for Christmas.
I don't remember that.
How old are you?
You don't remember that? We went to the mall. We were Christmas shopping for people.
Yeah. No.
It was like right when you got back from boot camp and all that.
Probably, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I believe it. It probably happened, but
Yeah, it definitely did happen.
there's been a lot that's happened since then. So.
Oh, I know.
I felt like just yesterday was August, so.
Oh, to me, it feels like yesterday was that guys' night we had before we went on that big hike in knee-deep snow.
That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Feels like yesterday. Now I know why my dad's always like, enjoy your time, it flies.
So, like, when you were, before you had your license and stuff, did you ever just, like, go on adventures just walking? Like,
Oh, yeah.
let's go up to, like, Giant Eagle and get something.
Yeah, we used to sing a song when we went.
used to bike everywhere, though.
Oh, bike? I used to walk
And
everywhere.
occasionally we would walk.
Like,
I'd walk.
I remember walking down that hill for some damn reason, walking all the way back up it.
me and,
Us?
Yeah, you and me.
Oh yeah, because we wanted to go for a walk and we didn't know where to go, so I was like, let's just go down the hill. You're like, that's gonna be a big hill to walk up. And I'm like, leg day, let's get it.
Yeah, it was a long hill.
yeah, me and Joe Bond, we used to, like, walk to Chipotle and stuff.
Hell, Matt, Todd, and I remember this one night. We were all hungry and we all had a little money, so we walked up to Giant Eagle. And the whole time we're walking there, we're singing this song, Because We're Men. And it was like one of those like 1920s quartet kind of things.
That's like a SpongeBob song.
Same thing. So then like we're walking up there. We buy so much food. We only cook about half of it. And then the next day they're like, yeah, so we're going to get going. I'm like, well, what about all this food? You can keep it. I had a big pot of mac and cheese. Come on, dude. Take some.
You made all of it, but only ate half of it?
We bought like this much, only made this much, still had this much left.
So
So you didn't make it all.
Correct.
So when you had, like, people sleep over, like, what time did they, like, usually leave the next day?
Around noon, or they just stayed over for another night.
Alright, because, like, usually, like, all my friends, they, like, left at, like, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm
That's
like,
how I was.
Yeah, he'd wake us all up. We're all like sleeping after a really long night of playing video games.
It was like 6 a.m. we woke
yeah,
up.
yeah.
He'd sleep in that chair back when I was over here, and then he'd wake up and be like, 6 o'clock. Let's go start our day. All of us, dude, come on. Him, no, I'll be back. I'm gonna go bike to McDonald's, grab some breakfast, and I'll be back.
Yeah.
And then he'd be back in like 15 minutes. I swear to God.
It was longer than that. It took me like an hour.
Dude's feet.
You know
are
how
probably
hard
going,
it is? You know how hard it is to hold 2 bags of McDonald's and bike one-handed up that hill?
Yeah, like, usually all my friends, like, we go to sleep at, like, 4
You know-
in the morning, and they leave at, like, 8. I'm like, why? And they just go home and go back to sleep. I'm like,
You know, I'm thinking it might have been closer for me to go to McDonald's on the hill because it would all be downhill. But then thinking about it, going it back up the hill, that would have sucked.
Yeah, going to McDonald's over off Pleasant Valley would have been your best option.
That's where I went.
Oh yeah. No wonder it took 15 minutes.
he was like a rabbit.
It's like 3 miles away.
We'd all go back to sleep and he'd come back. Who's ready to eat? I was, sure.
Fucking, what was it? I remember when Matt first got his license, I wanted a cone. A $1, a $1 ice cream
Well, we all
cone from
spent the night in the
McDonald's.
Monte Carlo.
We went to the McDonald's over there, went to the one office by his house, went to the one in Snow, and then we were like, where else can we go? None of them had a cone. We were like, all right. So we went down to the one at Independence, and they were like, oh yeah, our ice cream machine's working. It's like 6 a.m. They just opened.
That was our breakfast, mind you.
I wanted an ice cream cone.
Yeah,
But I had wanted it all night, but they were closed.
I'll never forget. It's like midnight. We pull up to Wendy's, and the guy, he's like,
Welcome to
"Welcome to Mick Wendy's."
I will never forget that.
And then Matt dropped his spoon after we got Frosties under his seat, and it took him like however long he had the Monte Carlo to figure out that's where the spoon went. Whole time he's like, the fat guy took my spoon. It looks like he took a bite out of it too. That's probably where my spoon went. That's hilarious. And then we're like,
I don't remember that.
we're cruising around. We all finish them, and then we pull up before Meyer was Meyer. It was Big K.
Oh,
Big Kmart.
No, we went to Giant Eagle.
Yeah, we went to Giant Eagle,
we
found a milk gallon,
a gallon
picked
of
it up, took it with us. We went to Big Kmart. We're trying to do donuts in the Monte Carlo. There's no snow, mind you. This is summertime. And then, was it you or Todd?
It was me.
You're
And
holding out the window.
I'm like, and we're like going, and he goes, "Oh, we're gonna go around back." And I'm like, "All right, let me do something with this gallon of milk." And, and we just go, yeet, and throw it out the window, and it's flashes.
You just
It
see-
breaks, and it goes. It was so funny.
And then it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. We go down to Calvin Park, sit for a little bit because Matt wanted to take a quick nap. Well, a cop rolls up. So then we take off. We're driving the speed limit, go down, get back on the Broadview. Another cop shows up.
That wasn't when the cop showed up.
When was that?
We were coming down, your street, down Chestnut. We went to.
Yes.
What was that? Street that intersected right there. Crossview?
Yeah.
Went down Chestnut to Crossview, and a cop shows up. But the cop was at the stop sign before Matt, and Matt flipped his lights, and the cop flipped his lights. So Matt went. And instead of. We're so dumb, by the way. We're like, we just gotta get back to Palm. We just gotta get back. Mind you, we drive another 20 feet. We're in Independence.
Yeah.
And we're like, cut through my neighborhood. So we go through my neighborhood. Cop following us all the way. Seven Hills cop following us all the way through my neighborhood. We do like a long path all the way through. I mean, yeah, we do the shortest path. My bad. All the way
So many
through.
twists and turns.
And then we get back up to Broadview, and we take a left, and we're going down, and we're like, all right, we just gotta turn on Pleasant Valley, and we're fine. We're good. We're good. We take a right onto Pleasant Valley, and the cop just goes straight.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the cop followed us.
And then we took and...
That was at 3 a.m. And I was asleep, you were asleep, and then
No, I was awake for
we
that.
just woke up.
Because Todd was like, hey, don't freak out, but there's a cop following us. Me. What?
Yeah, because I woke up like as we were going down the hill, and I was like, what's up, Matt? And like, it was just me and Matt awake. And then we hit the stop sign, and then Todd woke up. And then it was just you asleep.
So who was always the person that sat shotgun?
It was
I
either,
can see.
it was
Jared,
either him or Todd, because we're like still in the store, and Todd's like, hey guys, guess what? What? Shotgun! Son of
We're not
I get-
even outside.
a... You're right.
I always see Jared sitting up front for some reason.
Half the time, we're in the back seat, and he's always doing this to me.
Who?
You!
Oh.
So then I do it back to him, and he's like, get your feet out of my face. I was like, get your feet out of my face. So then we're both in the back seat like this practically.
Well, then we laid the back seats down and put our feet in the trunk and just took a nap like that with like our hoodies as pillows.
And then we took it. Was it in the Monte Carlo or Malibu where we slept like in Todd's neighborhood, but in the car?
The Monte Carlo. We never did it in the Malibu.
That's right. Yeah, remember the time where you had to stay outside at Todd's house?
Bro, I was so mad. And then
phone
my
died.
phone was on 1%. I'm like, you guys are gonna make me fucking stand up. Well, yeah, my parents said only
Yeah.
2 people can spend the night.
Todd's parents wouldn't let 3 people spend the night, even though Jared was already over. So
I was
then-
already over that day.
So he's like chilling outside, leaning against the house,
And then they let the dog out.
he's kind of just looking at Jared.
And I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Because they let the dog out through their sliding door. And I'm like, fuck. My phone just died. And I'm like, oh my gosh, hurry up. I got a text message in and saying, hurry up. Because they just let the dog outside. And I'm like, I know they're going to like either come outside to get the dog back inside or what. And he's like, we got to wait for my parents to go to bed.
And like 2 hours later, it starts like thundering out, and Jared's like, "I'm getting scared, guys."
My phone was already dead.
So then we finally get out there, and we're driving around, and that was the same night that like we went by that one school, and the lightning nearly took us out.
Yeah.
That was great. We're like all making jokes about like lightning and hitting us. Lo and behold, we're going past like this Catholic school. A bolt of lightning is like this far away from the car in front of us. All of us, oh shit!
Yeah.
And then it happened again like 4 more times. It was great.
And then we all went back to Tata's
Yeah.
and we all slept there.
And then we just played it off like you came over early, like how you always do.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll have a lot with you.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to do any of that now.
We'll all have to like request a week off so we can do dumb shit again.
The problem is we all drive now, so why wouldn't we all just sit in one car?
Right.
And then it's not scary anymore because like if a cop pulls you, we're all old enough that we can drive at whatever time we want.
Yeah.
So if a cop pulls you over, it's like, hey bro, what's up? just chilling, driving around.
You guys all have your license? Yeah. Can I see them? Yeah. Everyone digging out their wallet. Got the weird ring in there. Here you go.
The weird ring, like
ring.
in the
Oh.
middle of your license where you gotta like slide it out.
No, like in your wallet. The ring. Protection.
I knew.
Oh.
And it took me a minute too. That he was like the weird ring. I was like, oh.
I don't keep that in my wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither do
I keep it next to my bedstand.
Right.
I keep mine in my bedstand.
Besides the fact, it'd just be weird. Like, the cop would, hey, wait, like 3 a.m. What are you guys doing up?
Just trying to reminisce. Trying to do old stuff.
You know, it's not scary when we're 16 and 15 and like a cop pulls you over and you're like, what?
Right.
Because you're like, we're not, this is past our curfew.
Now it's like, honestly, we don't even know why we're doing this. We got work in the morning. We should honestly go home. Yeah, you guys should honestly go home. You've been swerving for the last 15 miles. Oh.
And then the other thing is like, it doesn't matter how many people sleep over.
Right.
Like, we only have 2 people sleep over. Okay, but now that doesn't matter. I'll just chill at Hunter's house.
Well, what we could do now is go and find milk jugs and crap if we're all like hanging out in one car.
The thing was, it was just, like, it was the purple lid. Like, no one buys that.
Yeah.
So someone was like, oh, I
So
bought
that
the
milk
wrong-
gallon was getting targeted no matter what.
Someone was like, oh, I bought the wrong milk. Went back into Giant Eagle and bought another gallon.
And us.
Took the old one. Or someone just forgot it in their car. It was like,
Wouldn't it suck if they just got in their car and they saw us take it?
It was in the cart in the rack.
They're looking, son of a bitch! Hey!
We just drive up to Kmart of all places, another grocery store.
It's like they're following us, they just see it. Oh, son of
I think we checked the parking lot first though, but
That's $2.75.
No, that was back then. That's when milk wasn't that much.
There was $1.50. Hell, knowing us now, we'd be like, who can drink this milk? I can. Alright, you want to take it? Yeah, saves me a trip to the grocery store for a week. Can we stop by my house so I can throw it in the fridge? Yeah.
yeah, right. And
Oh,
no one
Mom,
else now
I'm
like,
dead.
hey,
Bye,
Mom,
Mom,
you guys want to go for a drive? Are you gonna give me the money for gas? I mean, it's
Yeah.
$3.25 right now.
Or hell, remember how Matt used to be like such a stickler about gas money?
Even
Even
if
if
like
you were,
$1.80.
yeah, even though you were going like 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah. No. He drove out to my mom's on Saturday just because he was bored and needed something to do. So we went to my mom's 1-year anniversary wedding thing because they never had a proper wedding because of COVID. Never complained. Drove out to her house and drove back. Never asking for $1 or anything. I didn't ask you to come out anyway.
Right.
But like that, you did that on your own. You drove 45 minutes out, 45 minutes back. Like.
Whenever we'd ask him, hey, can you like run us up to Giant Eagle really quick? You got gas money?
And he worked.
Yeah.
At
He was-
Antonio's or
Stancados.
Stanco?
Yeah, that was the Stancados days.
complain about a lot of jobs though.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Hey, the new job's next.
Oh, I can't, he goes, I can't wait to get out of training. I can't wait till he gets out of training, so he goes, this shit sucks. Because he's like, I wouldn't mind second shift. Bro, that's 2 a.m. till, like,
No, that's third shift.
well, it depends on if you do overtime or not.
Yeah.
If they'll offer you overtime so you can come in at 2. Or if you don't want any overtime, you come in at 5 and then stay till, I think it's 2 or something. So, but if you want, you can do 2 to 2. Because sometimes they have mandatory 12s, so they'll have you come in at 2 instead of 5 to 5 because they already have other people coming on shift.
Right.
So and they've got more people on first shift than they do on third shift. So they'll come in at third and work till the end of 2.
So he's assigned to second shift.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I'm a first shift type of guy. I will not go second or third. I
Yeah,
can't.
I hate working.
I'm a
night
morning
shifts.
person.
I'm a morning person when it comes to work, but waking up, it's like, why did I agree to this? Get out early. It's like, I'm glad I agreed to that.
I don't know if they even really have a first shift there. I think they only have a first shift there for the people that are in training, and the people that are in the office.
Right.
Because all the like people that work with machines are only off for second or third.
Right.
So it's like you don't really have an option. Second shift's better than third shift personally, like so I don't know. And you can't get first shift until like you go into like an office job there or something. So
I don't know. Like my father, he works third shift and he loves it, but he's a truck driver, so there ain't nobody on the road.
Right.
I would rather be night shift too if I was a truck driver. I hate when other people are on the road.
Busting out the clubhouse crackers.
I thought they were the little ones. Whatever. Ain't gonna stop me.
I'm surprised you didn't buy the spray cheese.
I don't like cheese that much.
We already got an open one. Oh.
I'm just opening it properly, Hunter, not just the Hunter's way.
I tried opening it properly, and then it kind of just didn't go properly. If you made it this far in the podcast, good for you. Thank you for listening. That wasn't sarcastic. Still having a problem with people getting halfway through. So if you made it this far, pat yourself on the back. Drop a comment.
I also went from like 50 views to 7 views because of Hunter taking a week off.
Hey, you were busy too.
I could have still made it work.
Could have done the podcast without you.
Oh, there was a ghost.
Oh, I could do the podcast without you too.
But yeah, if I'm busy, yeah.
Hell, we could do the podcast.
Or I
Or
could invite
Yeah,
some special guest.
when I'm gone for like a week to 3 weeks, because in the army, do whatever the fuck you want. Just
or
know I'll be back.
or what I could do, I can mess with the opacity, film twice to make it look like I'm sitting with myself. Just gotta make sure the camera doesn't move.
Wait. You're gonna film once there and film once here.
Or just figure out how to
And just change
do-
your outfits.
or figure out how to do the FaceTime call, FaceTime chair. While he's on the computer.
Right.
That'd be cool. There is some type of screen sharing thing like that for the MacBooks and iPhone. You gotta look it up on YouTube because I remember when we had the Mac.
I know you can do it
Mac-
on the TV, AirPlay, but I don't know how you're supposed to record that. Screen.
Yeah.
You'd have to like screen record. I don't know.
Well, all the YouTubers do it. I don't know how they do it. You gotta like look it up on YouTube.
Yeah. Or what we do, like how news stations and Sports Center usually is, you have them on the call. So Jared, tell us what's been going on. A minute later. Yeah. So anyway, Bob, I'm.
Oh yeah, right. Like, cause everything's still going through their mic. Yeah.
Is this caulk?
Yeah. Good cock too. I got my 400 colors cock here.
Sorry, I had to make the joke.
Hey, don't spill your kids now because I busted out the cock.
Shut up. Make me spit all over the place. That's some good cock, too.
That's a good bit right there.
Oh, man. I'm glad that didn't come out my nose.
I'm glad you didn't.
I thought about it. I was like, no, not the computer.
Not the mic.
Just the way you said it. That's some good cock, too.
Oh, you got two in there?
Yeah, I got two big cocks here.
Shut up, dude.
Alright.
This one's the biggest. It's
If you guys were here, and you are probably no longer here.
if you know what cock is, good. If you don't, this is what it is. Get your mind out of the gutter. So
It's
the biggest
used
cock
for
here,
like sealing stuff.
the biggest cock here is the
Okay, let's stop talking about caulk.
Geocell.
We are not getting paid by them, so.
Yeah, why do you think my Clubhouse Aldi's brand is on the ground, not on the table?
Still waiting on Hanes, by the way.
I'm about to make Jared a landscaping logo.
We can put my landscaping logo here.
What I think you should do is have it like L, and then like just barely off to the side from it another L, to where it almost looks like that 3D thing with the blue and red.
Uh-huh.
That'd be pretty cool.
There are probably so many people out there with that logo.
We can look it up.
Okay, we don't have to look it up right now. We were going on really well, and then we started talking about caulk. What were we talking about before caulk?
Reminiscing of old times.
Oh, I was trying to say earlier about the gas prices that we would not really be driving around.
Yeah.
We'd be like sitting here.
We'd be like, all right, so whose house are we chilling at tonight?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, back then, we were still in school.
Yeah.
We weren't working full time, so like, what, like $2 a gallon was still expensive.
Yeah, and that's why Matt was always like, money, 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 money,
But he was the same way when he worked at Antonio's.
money. Yeah.
But he was making good tips. I'm like, you asked me to hang out.
Right.
You're right. That's what Todd always got mad about. It was like, Matt would ask him to hang out, and then he would ask for gas money.
And hell,
But you asked me to hang out.
Yeah, right.
knowing us now, it'd probably get like midnight. All of us.
It is 9:15. I'm already retired.
I still have a rough draft to write for an essay. And then do some math.
That sucks.
All it does. So I'm glad.
What time's everything due tomorrow? 11:59.
Yeah.
That's per usual.
And then all the math, I've got like basically 200 questions, but broken up into different categories in the first math segment. And then I need to figure out what all for U.S. history I need to do.
Are all your classes still online?
Yeah, because I picked it that way. It's
I
easier
would
than
hope so.
it's easier than having to go there, sit, take notes, listen to someone. I like it to where it's like, here's your work, get it done by this day, go. Except for when it's like, all right, day one, stuff to do in 2 days. Here's like 400 things, get it done.
Did you have to do Zoom calls?
No, thank God.
Did you have to last year?
No. It was all kind of same how it is now.
So how do you learn?
Teach yourself.
Do they give you something to read though, so you can learn off it?
Yeah, we have to buy textbooks that are $75 for 8 weeks.
What?
Do you rent them or buy them?
There's no rent option when it comes to them online books.
Really?
When it comes to the ones that they want you to read, it's
You
like
can't-
Norton something.
Like you can't buy them on Amazon? Oh, really?
Because on there it's even more expensive. But luckily, for my English book, since I bought it back in like February, I think. No, January. It's like a year subscription for like that one payment. So I didn't have to buy that one again. because that would have been another 75.
You ever look up the answers online?
I've tried to, yeah. No, they're not there. They like make sure.
Oh, high school was Quizlets.
Oh yeah.
No, I used Brainly my senior year, and Socratic.
Well, I used Brainly for math really a lot my senior year.
I used it for
For a little
everything.
bit for English. A little bit for English.
Used it a lot for English.
But, I mean, my science class was easy.
Used it for science
Easy.
too.
Well, my science class was way too easy. I was there. There was no, like, it was so easy that I didn't have to cheat. Like,
Oh, my science classes, chemistry and physics, the only way I passed was sitting with the smart kids. Even though in physics, Eric was in there, and we'd always be staring
you
at
know the only way that Black Alex passed our science class senior year? It's because of me.
what science you take senior year.
I don't know.
Was it
I took
environmental?
I took environmental my, freshman year?
I took biology freshman year.
No, I took biology, then environmental my sophomore. And we had to take 3. I didn't know that. Thought I only had to take 2. So I didn't take one junior year so I can have an extra class off throughout the day. And then I took it my senior year I took physical science or whatever it was.
I didn't have a science class my sophomore year because of welding.
Well, yeah, that was welding.
For me, it went biology freshman year, sophomore year.
I was not
physical
doing
science.
physics. I was not doing physics.
Miss Call taught me in the physics.
Junior
Junior year chemistry.
and I was
senior
not
year
doing chemistry.
physics.
I did not have to do chemistry.
Yeah, here I thought you had. It was either you could take physical science or chemistry. Here, I thought you had to take both.
Oh wait, what am I saying? I took physical science my senior year, because I was like, I'm not taking chemistry. All the sophomores are in chemistry. I don't want to do that. I'm a senior. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, so the whole
And
time.
lo and behold, all the sophomores were in physics class, besides me and Alex, and Justin and Jason.
So it was me and Banana Beck in physics, and Trevor Kessie was in there too. It's a good class, other than like the Audrey group that was in there.
But I took pre-calc my senior year.
I took Algebra 2 Part 2 senior year.
I took algebra 2 all in one.
I broke it up because I didn't trust myself, even though all my teachers were like, dude, you need to take honors or like AP.
Algebra 1 was easy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to take Algebra 2 in 1 because I feel like I should get more out of this schooling than just Algebra 2 Part 1, Algebra 2 Part 2. So I took Algebra 2 all in 1, and then I was like, I'm going to take pre-calc. They say it's not that difficult. It's easier than calculus, and it's easier than statistics. So I was like, I can do this. Because, like, Audrey was in statistics our junior year, or calculus, and then went to college our senior year. Something like that. And she said it was easy. I was like, alright, fine, fuck it. So I took pre-calc and I was like, I didn't understand anything. I was so confused. I was like, I just. She was like, there's so much of algebra in pre-calc. How do you not understand this? I don't know. Algebra was so much easier.
Hell, I'll never forget your.
No, she took pre-calc for junior year. She said it was easy. So then she went to do.
You remember that kid Antonio who'd always be in like a hoodie and sweats?
And not wear a belt? Yeah.
Yeah. Me and him basically ran Algebra 2 Part 2. Like, the Pierce Shalas were in there, and they'd always be like, hey, can we get the answers? Yeah.
Wasn't Brandon in there too?
Yeah. He'd always be like, hey, Hunter, can you hook me up with the answers? So I was like, if I
Brandon
show
was
up
in
on
my
time-
English class, and he'd always come and ask me.
Wasn't Hannah in there too?
Yeah. Her stand behind me was broke or something.
Hannah was in Algebra 2 Part 2 with me. And Miss Gentili, she'd always come up and be like, hey, so I didn't complete the answer key yet. And since you finished your paper, can I just make the answers based off your paper?
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, yeah, here. I was like, I better get extra credit for this. And she's like, I'll give you 5 points of extra credit. I was like, make it 10 and we got a deal.
Negotiate with a paper.
Yeah.
And then he wouldn't even have a science class with one of his teachers, and he'd go in and see her because
She was cute, okay? And she was only like 3 or 4 years older than me.
yeah, because when she was teaching seniors, when we first got there, she was like 22, 21.
Yeah.
And then she started dating the basketball coach our senior year. And then you were like, fuck it.
Yeah. I was like, what's he got that I don't? He's missing hair. I got hair.
A college
Actually-
degree.
Hey.
He wasn't missing hair. It was the younger coach.
Oh. Thought the guy that she was with is bald.
No, he had blonde hair.
Oh.
And he had a full head of hair.
I do too. Still, at the moment.
But he also, kept good care of his hair.
I wash it every other day.
It looked like normal people hair.
I can't help I'm mixed.
You can't say that on her.
Yeah, I can. Mexican and Native American and European.
You're a mutt. You're not
Yeah, I was
mixed.
just about to say that.
It's
you
mixed.
So, your shitty ass hair that just looks like a rope that's fraying.
Why do you think I use so much conditioner?
It doesn't look any better, bud.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, you should put oil in it. I don't want to oil my hair.
My hair does not frizz. It looks good.
Because you have the same haircut that you've had since like 2nd grade.
Yeah, for
That's
real.
not true. Since 8th grade.
Yeah,
Same difference.
because before, instead of it being fluffed up, it was just down.
No, before it was just this. There's a spike. In the
Yeah,
front.
he had like
everything
in the
else.
middle.
Everything else was shaved.
He's like, I'm a rhino.
Everything else was like tapered and like shaved and stuff, and then this was just spiked up. And then when I didn't do my hair in the morning, it would just be down.
What, kind of like my haircut?
What? Yeah. What about?
Well, I got long hair now. I need a haircut, but that's how I usually.
So did Hunter. I mean,
No.
we should all go get a haircut.
I'm
I
growing
need,
it
I
out
need a
again.
haircut, Hunter. You should come get my haircut. And
Nah,
maybe your hair will look healthy.
nah.
And Mr. 8 Buys probably be up to 15 now.
Yeah, and they wouldn't be so.
Hey,
Okay.
we'll talk about that on the podcast.
If Jordan and I just show up at like 2 a.m. one day, because I know where the key is, and I just come in here with my Manscaped 3.0 and go, "Rrrr," you're gonna be forced to get a haircut.
And I will personally call the police station, tell them get ready, I'm coming. That,
Book me a room.
huh?
Book me a room.
Yeah, book me a room, pick my outfit out. I'm a 33 waist, t-shirt large, foot size 12. Get it ready. And I'll take the max sentence of 25.
I think it's gonna be a little longer than 25 years, but it's like more like life.
Who knows?
I
Maybe
mean,
maybe
maybe-
if we get
maybe if
Big
he-
Red.
Maybe if he doesn't finish the job, attempted murder.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, you might get away.
Yeah, if you actually.
But don't
pull-
touch the face.
Fine. I'll cut here and around here, and I'll leave your head fine.
There's murderers out there that only get like 15 years. I'm like, what?
Right.
Might as well just let him free so he can do it again.
You see that one group, I think it was on Facebook, where it's like all these dads that want to get together and like personally hunt child molesters and
Yeah.
pedophiles and all that.
All right. Well, on that note, I think it was a pretty good podcast today, almost an hour.
Yeah. Sorry if it was a little slow for your liking, but you know.
We're
too bad.
tired. So, thank you guys for listening. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
See you guys on Thursday. Peace out.
See ya.